Welcome to our webinar about a super hot topic, blockchain, and a very challenging problem, namely the food security in Africa. This combination sounds unreal, but it is going to be real now during this webinar. So stay tuned and join our excellent speakers today. And we will start before we really go into the program. We will start with some weather reports, and that's also what we want from you. We want to know where you are situated, where you are coming in from, and we want to learn about the weather. Weather is something that's always interesting, at least from my perspective, coming from Norway. Now you know that. My name is Bente Lilja. I'm going to be your host today. And this webinar, by the way, is part of the COVID-19 Inspire Hackathon webinar series. And we are learning a lot about different topics. You are invited to join, actually, the hackathon. You can have a look at that. You will be informed during the webinar. Now, the weather report. Raj.
Right, yes, hi.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, hi, thanks for having me here. The weather, yes. It's raining cats and dogs outside. I'm in Mumbai, India, and it's raining very heavily. So I'm very happy. I have a nice, I'm sitting in my room. I'm working from home. COVID also, the subject is COVID. COVID has kept us in the house anyway. So we're making best use of a house. We've never been longer in the house now. We're enjoying the rains from the house, not in the rains now. That's warm, but very rainy day today. It's going to be muggy in the evening, I know, but it's okay.
Do you have the rain season now in India, in Bombay?
Yeah, well, in India, it basically is the end of the monsoon season, another 8-10 days, and then it will be done with the rains, which have been with us for the last 3 months. So,
okay. So you're ready for some sunshine.
It's going to be a very humid next couple of months before the slight winter kicks in, but till then, we'll enjoy. We enjoy every day as it comes. Rain, shine, sun, all good.
Okay, all good in India. Okay, thank you, Raj, for that report. And as I said, please do tell us where you come from and
Mumbai, India.
Yeah. No, I'm talking to the audience in this case, that they also let us know about the weather. Now we are going to another continent. Akan, can you let us know what the weather is like where you are and where you are?
Okay, I'm in Nigeria and in Akwa Ibom State, a particular state in Nigeria, South, and the weather is sunny, and it was raining heavily yesterday. So today just sunny and
the weather is static.
The weather is probably interfering with the internet connection there.
Right.
Intermittent rain, I guess.
Yeah. It looks like it's sunny.
Yes.
Everyone can go out today and do whatever you want to do there.
Everyone can go out. Okay, and then we lost Akan. He will come back, I'm sure. Meanwhile, I will let you know I'm situated in Norway, just a little bit northwest of the capital, Oslo, the city of Oslo. I'm living in the countryside, and we have a beautiful weather, a beautiful autumn weather here today. So we are enjoying that. Again, let us know where you are and what the weather is like, because we want to, during this webinar, we really want to hear your questions and your comments. And I know there's a few of you that is actually part of the hackathon team of Akan, and please be using this opportunity to ask questions to our expert, Raj. You will get to know more about the speakers. I will ask them to introduce themselves a little bit later. The topic, the program for today is that we will start with an introduction to food security in Africa, and that Akan will do that. And then we will listen to and learn more about blockchain from Raj. And then finally, Akan will come back and introduce the challenge, and then that will trigger the questions. We hope to have a discussion afterwards. You can ask questions after each of the presentations, and we will see how active you are. We hope to have questions, but so in between we will have those. We will try to answer those questions, but we will have an entire Q&A at the end. So that's the program for today. It will be about 30-45 minutes, depending a little bit on how engaged you are. But that's, I think we are ready to go, and we start with an introduction. Akan, let's see. Akan is, as you heard, the internet connection can be an issue, and we will cross our fingers that we will be able to hear Akan loud and clear. Let's try Akan and see if you can introduce yourself, and then Raj will also do the same. Akan, can you let us know a little bit about you?
Hello, everybody. Good morning, everyone from Nigeria. My name is Akanineye Obot. I'm a lecturer in the Department of Agricultural Economics and Extension in Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Okada, in Nigeria. And I also consult for a community-based health initiative in Akwa Ibom State as a project consultant. So that's basically what I do. And in the Challenge 7, I am the mentor. Thank you, everybody.
Excellent. And then Raj, how about you? Let's learn about you.
Yes, a little bit. A very quick thing. My name is Raj, and full name is Raj Kapoor, and I am from Bombay, India. And we are the founders of I'm the founder of the India Blockchain Alliance, which is the largest blockchain think tank in the country today. And let's put it this way, between our partners, all the partners which we are in this blockchain alliance, and alliance means a great partnership. We speak, we talk, we consult, we advise, we give solutions to actual real world problems, not just making an ease of business. We want to make a life different from a socio-economic standpoint, and that's what we really specialize in. We like we have Khan in Africa, we have a lot of similar challenges, and that's why I love to speak and how blockchain can actually address these challenges. Not like any emerging technology, but a technology that solves real world problems, not just makes ease of business. So between us, we are very happy to be here with you guys. And more important, I love to introduce a little bit of blockchain to everybody. Blockchain is going to be the future. It's going to touch you morning, day, and night, from the time you wake up till the time you sleep. And my friend, so by partner than ourselves, we've spoken in about 140 countries in our lives. And so we've spoken to all sorts of people. So we love to speak. But more importantly, we love to hear. So questions, please ask. So that's us signing off right now as an introduction from Raj here.
Yes, thank you so much, Raj. We are excited to learn about. I think this is super exciting. And a few words about me also, by the way. So my name is Bente Lilja. I come from Norway. I'm an expert in Earth observations in general, data management. I'm also a member of Plan for All, one of the lead coordinator organizers of the Inspire hackathons. And I have been involved in these hackathons since 2016. So so this is really interesting for me as well to learn about this. So enough of us. Let's dive into the subject of today. We will turn off our cameras while we hear the presentations, and we will start with Akan, who will introduce food security in Africa for us. Take it away, Akan.
Hello, everyone. Good morning again from Akanineye Obot, Nigeria. We are looking at blockchain technology for food security in Africa. And we want to start by looking at food security in Africa before we now go to the blockchain. That will be handled by my colleague.
Akan, can you show your presentation in the presentation mode on that orange button at the and then hide your.
Okay, okay, I've done that.
Okay.
So welcome everybody to COVID-19 Hackathon Blockchain Technology for Food Security in Africa. I've introduced myself already. I am Akanineye Obot, academia researcher in Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Okada, Nigeria. And we are looking at food security. All people at all times have physical, social, and economic access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food that meets their dietary needs and food preference for an active and healthy life. And from the definition of Marion 2011, we can also say that food security has to do with 4 components, which is availability. Food must be available to everyone at all time. And again, we also say that the next component has to be access. People must be able to access the food that is available, and they must be able to afford the food that is also available. And we also that there must be stability. That means that food must be constant. There must not be a season that we are short of food. There must not be a season that we are short of food. That means there must be a stability of availability of food throughout. And we also talk about the utilization. From the definition, people must be able to eat the food that is going to make them to be healthy. That's about utilization. You must be able to eat the food that you want, and the food that you eat must make you to stay healthy and stay alive. So those are the 4 components of food security. And the next slide, we've talked about food security, and when we are looking at the situation in Africa and the COVID-19 pandemic that arose, it has really affected Africa. According to Center for Strategic and International Studies, globally, they estimated that in the early 20s, that about 135 million people are facing acute food insecurity. That's globally. And that in the late 2020, that's towards the end of the month of which we are now, that the number will rise up to 265 million people facing acute food insecurity. Not just facing food insecurity, but acute, that's severe. And when we now come down to Africa, according to Galian Excel, and Co, in 2020, they estimated that in Africa, about 650 to 670 million people are going to face the issue of food insecurity. That means in Africa, we have to do a lot more to tackle this food insecurity and make sure that we, even in the COVID-19 era, and even in the post-COVID-19 era. Then the next slide, we now look at the challenge I've posted on Africa food security. We have the demand side shock, and we have the trade side shock, and we also have the production side shock. During the COVID-19, every one of us, we are aware of the challenges that COVID-19 posed on the demand aspect. So many people have lost their jobs, and losing a job also put pressure on the family, on their ability to be able to access the food that we've talked about. Remember the definition of food security. People must be able to access food, and they must be able to access food at affordable prices. And when we now look at the demand aspect of it, and people have lost their job, and people have lost their livelihood also, it now reduces the quantity of food that people can procure from the farmers, because the ability is not there. So it has caused a demand shock. That means the farmer will produce something, but there is no much buyers to take what the farmers are producing, and it now becomes a loss to the farmers. And mostly we know African farming has to very much look at people at the rural area that produces bulk of the food that the food in the continent of Africa, and many of them are female. So when it causes demand shock, they stand to lose whatever was meant to be their profit at the end of the day. And we also look at the trade aspect shock. And now many people were importing inputs and also exporting the food product, food produced at the end of the day. And during the COVID-19, we all are aware that the airport or there was embargo placed on flight going out and coming into different continents, different nations of the world. That means that the farmers that were selling goods that are supposed to be exported, they were losing at the end of the day. Remember, nobody planned for the COVID-19. It was just a sudden pandemic that ravaged the world and came on. It came in when people did not plan for it. So it caused a price shock to the farmers. And farmers that were getting foreign currency as a result of importing their goods, you see that they were losing at the end of the day. And we also have the production shock also. Remember that farmers, many of them were importing their input from outside their country. So the embargo that was placed has made, as at that time, before many countries now lift the embargo, made the importation of input to become difficult. So that means it now alters the planting season for most of the farmers. And most of the farmers could not go into planting season because the COVID-19 altered many things for the farmers. So it became a shock to the farmers and put our farmers, mostly in Africa, at the risk of not benefiting from their produce. And already it is estimated, according to research, that African farmers are poor, because even if they are the ones producing bulk of the nation's food basket, they are not really getting their full benefit from what they produce so far. So the action that we are trying to take, or the action that we should take, according to African Development Bank, they opin technologies such as drought resilient crop production and yield enhancement can contribute to wealth creation and also improve the health and nutrition on the continent. That means Africa, for us to be able to tackle this food security, we have to see how we can develop our agricultural sector to the point of using modern technology and drive agricultural production, and also agricultural production, and also the exportation aspect of it. Because if for us to be able to meet the need of our people, our food must be standard, and our food must be nutritious also. So technology is the key to unlocking the potential of agriculture in Africa. Then the next thing, we are now in Challenge 7. This is a Challenge 7 group of the COVID-19 Inspire Hackathon 2020. What we are seeking to do under this Challenge 7 is to see ways that we can use blockchain technology as one of the technologies to achieve food security in Africa. We are here to learn how to use it. How to use this blockchain, or what blockchain is all about. And also, we as participants of this Challenge 7, we also see how to use this blockchain and at least test to see whether it will give us a result, or it will help us achieve food security in Africa. And if actually it does, that means we will also bring in more other things. But in this Challenge 7, we are here to talk about blockchain technology and also see how to use it to achieve food security in Africa. So I welcome everybody once again, and I'm saying thank you for listening, and please pay attention and ask your questions where it is needful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Akan. Let's see, you can unshare your screen again. Definitely a very good overview of a serious challenge. It was a brutal reality, but at the same time very interesting problem that we are facing now. Do you have any questions? You can write that in the chat box. If not, you need to think a little bit more about questions related to the food security situation in Africa, as Akan told you about. You can also ask that at the end of this webinar. Now, I don't see anything. Don't worry if you're a little bit late, we can take it to the end. Now, Raj, Akan mentioned, of course, that blockchain is one of the technologies that needs to be explored. And
Yes.
you can tell us a lot about blockchain, we know. So I can start. We will start with sharing a video that will introduce you to this topic. Yeah. Let me see. You should be able to see it now very soon.
Yes.
Oh, you have the playback on other website has been disabled by the video owner. That's you?
No, I haven't done anything.
Oh, okay. Let's see then. I will stop it and then I will try to do it in another way. Can you?
Yeah, you can try now.
Let me see. Yes, let's see. So
India is forecasted to be the country with the highest GDP by 2020. But at the same time, agricultural sector, which currently contributes to about 13.7% of India's GDP and is responsible to create 50% of the workforce, will steadily decline. Shocking, right? There are many factors contributing to these bearish predictions. They are lack of access to advanced farming, lack of cold storage facilities, inefficient distribution network, and lack of inclusions of farmers into the mainstream. Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi sought technological solutions to solve.
आने वाले दिनों में ब्लॉकचेन टेक्नोलॉजी का भी बड़ा अहम रोल रहने का। इस तकनीक से सप्लाई चेन की रियल टाइम मॉनिटरिंग हो पाएगी। इससे कि मैं खेती में होने वाले लेन देन में पारदर्शिता आएगी। सबसे बड़ी बात, बिचौलियों की बदमाशी पर भी लगाम लगेगी और उपज की बर्बादी भी लगाम लगेगी।
So, can blockchain solve the impending issues of the agricultural sector in India and abroad? At Agro, we believe it can. Agro is building an agricultural blockchain-based ecosystem which features a decentralized marketplace to enable farmer-consumer trade using smart contracts, a public-private funded network of cold storage facilities, a supply chain solution to track product quality and movements, a database of farmers across the world on blockchain, a universal token to enable fast processing of funds and execution of smart contracts, a crowdfunding model for farmers to raise funds using smart contracts. Agro has already started building the first modules of their ambitious project that provides farmers with respect, finance, and most importantly, inclusion into the mainstream. It is our dream to tap the uncountable potential of agricultural sector.
That was an introduction to the blockchain topic. Raj, are you with us?
I am absolutely with you, and I will take us right into the presentation.
Thank you.
I'll just need a moment to get in there. Just give me a moment. And the idea of showing the video was quite simple. It just shows how blockchain, it's just one of the attempts to show blockchain as an enabler to a lot of solutions. We've used that in India because we have a lot of common challenges in India and Africa, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to share that. I will now come straight onto my presentation, and I shall view it full screen. So, friends, can you see my presentation?
Yes.
Can you see? Yes, perfect. So I'm just going to go rapidly. I'm going to show you 10 possible use cases and how blockchain can impact agriculture. If we talk about food security is one aspect of it. However, we need to explore the other aspects because collectively, we can then talk about food security. We cannot talk about food security in isolation. And therefore, these 10 cases will say, oh yes, we should be talking about these along with food security. So here we go. And rapidly, over the next 10 minutes, we'll see 10 uses of blockchain in agriculture. First, blockchain can help oversee farm inventory. We know that a lot of farm inventory is lost in transition. We lose a lot of it. Fruits and vegetables are thrown out due to mismanagement at some point. So now blockchain uses what is called decentralized ledger. Just before I go any further, blockchain is the technology which creates a security for the data and decentralizes data, distributes the data right across. And a distributed data system is the safest and the most secure system in the world today. Blockchain addresses that aspect and creates lots of solutions around data. Data is cash today, data is king. And blockchain takes good care of that and utilizes it to the maximum. So when we do that, we can, of course, save a lot of money, save a lot of destruction of crops and goods. We can use that, we can store that data, we can understand where the destruction is happening, where the losses are happening through this proper data management. Second thing we need to do in agriculture is to enhance the agricultural supply chains. Currently, it's so distorted, it's such a mess. 70% of yields are lower because the land adoption is very low. You know, what happens in India, in Africa, people don't understand completely what are supply chains. There are so many people in the supply chain. What blockchain does, and we can have lots of long discussions later, what really blockchain does is by adopting it correctly, we can have all access to our products, machinery, crops, livestock. Everything is traceable. Everything is real time. You know exactly where what is. You know whether the warranties are live or they're expired. It forms a complete food chain right from your phone or your system, or even if you don't have that, you can even have a regular old-fashioned phone through an SMS. That's how it is reached even the last mile as far as farmers are concerned. So you can know what is your grain trading, what are the prices, everything on the single platform. We also have inculcated a complete modern farm management software, and you don't need to know technology for that. That's the best part. What has happened with that? We put drones, we've integrated IoT sensors, we put artificial intelligence into the operations. That will help, it stores all the data, the weather, everything else, everything comes in that. This blockchain software, these type of software, all built on the blockchain, they slice the cost of transactions between suppliers as well as the inventory costs. All these issues are central to agriculture, and it is common in almost all countries. We can have a look at this as well. And the platform which I'm talking about to solve food security issues must include this. We also need to use AgTech for optimization. We have an annual crop losses of 4.1 billion worldwide in about 8-9 years. We cannot predict floods, drought, etc., etc. So we have a good system. With IoT-linked technologies, we can improve the way things are working. Blockchain is serving as a storage locker for real-time data on quality utilized by farmers as well as their supply chain. That's very essential. As in the space of agriculture, in the agriculture sector, supply chain management, supply chain data, supply chain optimization, and effective leveraging of the supply chain brings about a lot of transformation in this particular sector. That's why I stress on that. Fair pricing is another issue we have sorted in India with blockchain. How do we do that? Well, there's an example. 10% increase of coffee beans results in a 6% decrease in the number of households living in poverty. This was done by Starbucks recently. Weather conditions, improper supply conditions, all impact your income. And the farmer's income at the lowest level, farmers who are not very well educated, farmers who do not have access to money, etc., it impacts them immensely. So what have we done? Right, 1 second. Farming is often a feast or a famine lifestyle, and the wealth of information that can be provided to farmers via a blockchain platform Why a blockchain platform? Because blockchain data cannot be changed, it cannot be falsified, it cannot be hacked, and it cannot be deleted, therefore making it the most secure data which you'll ever get. More secure than any other at this point of time. So with a blockchain-linked mobile store of all transaction trends, markets, stock prices, farmers will now be able to negotiate better prices, especially in nations where the internet access is rare and outside data is difficult to come by. That was a challenge even in India. That is the challenge even in Africa. Poor connectivity, lack of proper infrastructure, etc. Blockchain comes and sorts that problem as well. Whatever I'm talking about today, we have actually implemented. So oversight and payment of agricultural subsidies. Now we all get subsidies. In USA, for example, GA received 24 million in subsidies, making it the most generously subsidized agriculture entity in 8 years. And because of that, we learned one more thing, that oversight, which is being issued, these subsidies that are being used so far, blockchain-linked database embraces smart contracts. Smart contracts are predefined rules and regulations which will be loaded onto the blockchain for ease of use. Then farmers will get their subsidies automatically. Nobody will have to be in the middle. There is no intermediary. There is no middleman. There are no fixers and consultants, etc. It's so easy for the farmer. Automatically, he gets the subsidy as and when it gets generated. Smart contracts in blockchain help in that. Blockchain is also used as a platform to facilitate these payments for cost-effective, discrete, the tax burdens, unnecessary pricing, all that, because now you have real-time data. Nobody can fool you with falsified or decorated data, so to speak, and make life easier for the last common denominator, that is the poor farmer who doesn't have access to knowledge, technology, etc. Agricultural subsidies are very essential for these farmers. So that's what blockchain does. It sort of streamlines in a single way, streamline things for them. Community support agriculture, which is a very big thing. With community support agriculture are likely to be younger, which means they will be more inclined to embrace blockchain technology. That's great. The younger generation of farmers are going to be doing that. In India, we do a lot of training for younger generation farmers in blockchain, debunking the myth that it is something which they can't learn. It's a very high-end technology. Yes, the technology is fantastic, but you don't need to know everything. You need to know how it'll impact your business. Proposals include tokenization of shares in community farms for easier sale and ability to reward volunteer labor directly, share and minimizing food waste through sensor-based crop quality tracking. Community farms are big. I'm sure they're quite big in Africa as well. Mobile remittance for small farmers. Now, this is a very challenging thing all the time. This can be taken care of. Also, there are about 450 to 500 million farmers, small plots of land. 85 of them, we make up 85% of them. Now, there are a lot in India, for example, a lot of suicides because they don't get their payments in time. They don't get their value in time. So blockchain, mobile blockchain as platform is aimed at providing real-time payment for goods and services. Transparent, completely transparent, because everything is real-time data. Nobody can make changes. Nobody can do anything. And insurance can also be issued on the blockchain. These platforms are being widely adopted to provide a measure of predictability to a marketplace which is plagued by uncertainty and inconsistency. What is blockchain doing till now? It's making things easier. It's giving you real-time data from multiple sources and then making life easier for the farmer, from the supply chain, etc. Also, you can incentivize sustainable practices. This is what we're doing right here. Since I'm going to go rapidly, there is lots which I may not be able to share right now, but we can have a separate session on that later on. Platforms incentivize more sustainable practices. For example, in India, sustainable practices are rewarded with bitcoins or etc., so that farmers, either to them or to their families, so that they also get incentivized to create more sustainable practices, which is better for the earth and the climate in general anyways. Startups also are willing to pay for a premium to farmers who can prove that they have grown their produce in an organic, sustainable manner. That is giving birth to better farming practices, organic farming, better use and more, let's say, more intelligent use of pesticides, and a more aware farmer today. An aware farmer with sustainable practices not only has an impact for the farmers and the ecosystem itself, it also has for the entire globe. Blockchain creates a monetization for this entire process as well. And the greater accounting for multinationals. We've heard lots of stories like Monsanto. Oh boy, they really polluted the waters and lakes, etc. I won't get more deep into that. But what blockchain does is those with concern about the methods with which their produce is grown or the meat may in time trace the corn back to the seed from where it has grown, or the salmon to the farm it was raised in. That's how blockchain can go. Lots of backward integration. Walmart uses blockchain for complete backward integration, as they say, from farm to fork, from the time your seeds are harvested right to the time it comes onto your plate and you eat that. You can trace that entire line. That's traceability, that is transparency, then that's accountability. Ability would empower consumers to make more informed decisions about health depending on the respective stance. Therefore, now pollution is going to be a thing of the past, slowly and steadily as blockchain comes in. What are my key takeaways? We have a farm to shelf tracing. We can trace right, as I told you. Supply chain becomes transparent. At every stage, we know where what is. Nobody can tell us, oh, your products haven't reached us. Oh, they're still in shipping. Oh, you can track it yourself. And you don't need high-end technology. You need your mobile phone, or you need an SMS service, a texting service, both available to almost everybody today. Instant transactions. Now, you do not have to wait for ages to get your monies, to get your subsidies, to get your insurances, to get your money for whatever you have sold, getting the right pricing. Everything becomes instantaneously. It doesn't take days, hours, and weeks. It's instantaneous. Also, streamlined inventory management. You would know in your farm or in your supply chain, everything. Control every asset in your storage. Digital identity. Forgery becomes a challenging venture. You cannot forge it. We blended it beautifully with IoT. We coupled blockchain with IoT and made farming smarter. As IoT provides us with real-time data from connected devices that will go into a singular blockchain platform. That's been a very successful venture here. And these are some of the companies which we are working with and doing a lot of products in that. And before I wind up, let me just share something with you. The global value of agriculture is about $32.2 million in 2017 and going to grow $1.4 billion on the blockchain. That's how fast people are moving the agri-services and produce onto the blockchain. Talking about India, 58% of the population is it's $1 trillion industry, accounts for 14% of India's GDP and 11% exports. So 60% of the world also depends on agriculture for survival. This is the growth of agriculture on the blockchain. 41% in the next 10 years is going to be massive. No country, no one will be able to ignore that, especially when an economy of your nation, economy of your country basically depends on that. And we have this Liz Ritzik. She says she has a company called Nourishing Liberty. Blockchain offers the means for farmers to contact with sellers to grow what is needed. She speaks a lot on this. Getting paid for labor is a big challenge. Blockchain takes care of that. She also says, in the community-supported agriculture, there are a growing model where consumers prepay a farm for the whole season. Say we'll pay $500 at the beginning of spring and we get a box of vegetables every week for 30 weeks. Blockchain can handle that entire transaction and in minutes. So we have a lot of other people saying a lot of things, but one of the things which I really like is, and I'm going to show that, is when blockchain technologies are tangible and understandable, we can apply them even to the basic human need for food, and thereby even for food security. A key objective is to create a global, comprehensive and safe system for agriculture and food business, allowing them to reduce expenses related to production, sales, logistics. Here's a company called EcoFarm, so we work together a lot on several projects. and a farmer has different tools, shovels, tractors, etc. Blockchain is also a tool, and it's up to you if you want to use it or not. So says Mikhail of a company called Colions. And I've taken my 10 minutes from you guys, so I want to thank you for that. And I'd love to share the presentation with those who like it. And I know it's 10 minutes is very little to understand, but it's a start. And with that, thank you guys.
Thank you so much, Raj. That was super interesting and super fast.
Yeah.
And I think we might have some questions for this, and we are happy that you will stay with us to answer.
Absolutely.
Let me see, before I let Akan come back on and introduce a little bit more about the challenge that we want to address in Africa.
Right.
I want to ask, I paid notice to one statement that you made that maybe reveals my ignorance, but you said that 60% of the world population depend on agriculture. I thought all of the humans depend on agriculture.
Yeah, when I say 60%, it's that ecosystem which agriculture has created, which is beyond industry. Yes, without agriculture, we are all going to die. We need the food.
Yes.
So yes, I think your observation of 100% depends, yes. But from a statistical perspective, we have ancillary industries, agri-industries, technology industries. So 61% of them are interconnected.
Oh, okay.
That's the figure.
Okay, yeah. Okay, that explains it. Now we have a question from Carol. Welcome, Carol. How can IoT, so Internet of Things, be integrated with blockchain? You talked a little bit about it, but he continues to say, usually there exist web cloud applications where data are collected. How could this be integrated with blockchain?
Right. Well, I'll give it a very simple answer. It's a very long answer, but I'll try and keep it very sweet, short, and simple. He's right. IoT generates terabytes of data which are collected in the cloud. Now, the reliability of the data is factored in with the blockchain. The blockchain completely secures this data and decentralizes the data. In other words, it doesn't allow it to remain in one place. It spreads it right across many, many blocks right across the globe. Therefore, it's called decentralized ledger technology. By doing that, your data is safer, more accurate, because data now can never be manipulated, which currently it can. Data can also not be amended or changed to suit our purposes, to suit human purposes, because it now becomes immutable. Blockchain brings about the immutability of the data. And therefore, IoT generates the data, blockchain secures and distributes the data. So also the outreach of the data becomes global. So these are a couple of things which actually how we work together with IoT. Of course, there are many, many things. I can send him a nice white paper. I've written a white paper on how blockchain works and that. But in right now, I think that should be enough. And I'm having this couple of Skype discussions with him on the side, anyways. I'll definitely catch up with him, and I'll spend half an hour on that.
Yes. Now, but it's interesting for the audience also to learn a little bit about this. For the recording, we will record this.
Yes.
Of course, this is recorded and will be distributed afterwards.
The good part is blockchain works with technologies. It works with artificial intelligence. It works with cloud computing. It works with data security. It works with it works with robotics. It works with everything. The good thing about blockchain, it does not replace any technology. It is not an intrusive technology. It's an inclusive technology. What it does is basically secures data. Even cybersecurity, for example, today uses blockchain. So the products become more secure. It adds an extra layer of security which was not available prior to this. The blockchain is a new technology, hardly 10 years old. Hardly, it's 10 years young, I would say. It's a young technology, right? So a lot of people have a lot of confusions about it. Now, what it does basically in a very simple way, if I have a bank account, it's in a centralized database. All your data, I can hack it if I want to. In blockchain, your centralized database now becomes a decentralized, means it breaks up into small blocks, and these blocks are all across the globe. You cannot make a change to one block without making a change to the other. You can't do that. It is time-stamped. and no blocks can be amended. They can only be revoked. So the timestamping is there. So we know what's happened. We have this data now. Somebody changed it. Who changed it? And why was it changed? Everything is linked. You cannot change one block without it affecting the others. That's why making it more secure. Your one block can be hacked. Your hundreds and thousands of blocks now of data cannot be hacked. It's too expensive, too time consuming, and too difficult. Making it most secure. And therefore all technologies work with that.
Yeah. So that's fine. That once the data is collected, it cannot be manipulated. So that's one thing of trust. But however, so transparency of the data will then be obscure, right? So you cannot see how the data is collected. This part of the transparency is lost in this process.
See, we cannot ascertain where the data comes from.
No,
data it's a human being, which is like either a human or a machine taking out the data. Yes, but today when we talk about IoT is a machine-created data. Most of it is machine-created data and accurate. At least it's a 99% accuracy is available on the IoT, etc. Therefore, when we are talking about data, we're actually talking about data which has been already processed to an accuracy level of 99%. Blockchain is just distributing that data, making it available and to all. And because blockchain is not owned by any one organization or an entity like the internet, nobody can get into it. You can't compromise anybody. Whom do you compromise? You can't compromise the whole world. Therefore, we have to, of course, depend on if I put my name instead of Raj, I'll put my name as Akan into a form. You can't stop me from doing that. So it'll keep showing my name as Akan. However, we have to rely on the authenticity of the data which comes. And the transparency which I talk about is the transparency of the made available data through other channels.
Yes, exactly. So it's transparency transparency in the sense that, the blockchain makes sure that you, as a data provider, you can ensure that the data that is distributed is not manipulated.
Absolutely.
As a data provider.
Yes. As a data provider, yes.
Yeah. Okay,
That's
so I think we can come back to these issues afterwards, because I think it's when we talk about the farmer here, and I will give the floor to Akan to introduce the problem, and then we can come back to the discussion. And hello to Samuel, meanwhile. Hi, Sam. Akan, are you ready to do your next presentation where you introduce? No, I think he has some severe troubles with the internet connection, because I've seen his coming in and out several times while we have been discussing.
Yeah, so, he's in and out. He's playing hide and seek with us.
Yes, he's teasing us. Okay. He's back now. Akan, yes, we can hear you. I think we can hear you. Oh, he's trying to speak, it sounds like. Let's see. It's a fluctuating internet connection, perhaps. I will ask.
That's also my business case for blockchain. If you put all the connectivity on the blockchain.
I'm having a network challenge.
Yes, you can introduce the challenge, Akan. Oh, now the silence is disturbing.
not golden hair, silence. So I have been speaking in many forums when I say that the entire internet backend should be moved onto the blockchain. So if we have these issues will not crop up, because there will be hardly any data drop.
Because you distribute the...
It's no longer in a single server, it's distributed, and thereby much safer, more secure. We both will be, in fact, no webinars will have all these downtimes. And now the world is moving on the webinar now.
Yes. Exactly. So it's more demanding to have your request more higher percentage of uptime, as we know for for scientific instruments and so on.
Yes, we got Akan back again.
Yeah. Akan has come back. We know that, I also know that Yiri would like to add something about a technology that could be supporting this, as far as I remember. If you are in a part of the audience, can you give me a hint if you're here or not? Now we hear some sounds from Africa again.
Yeah.
At one webinar, we
Hello,
actually...
Bente, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Are you trying to share your screen? Okay, maybe I will see if I can find the slides. That might be helpful, so we don't have to force this. Let's see. Raj, if while we are trying to figure out this, do you have any, I know you have a lot more that you can present. Maybe you have some example or something that you can highlight for the audience while we are trying to figure out how to include Akan again? Raj, you are probably mute. Yeah, you're mute. No. Okay, Akan is... Okay, Akan.
Hi, everyone. Sorry about that. Hello, Binte, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, Raj. Sorry, everybody, about that. Internet services. Now we have a task, and that's the task that we have to carry out. And Raj, thank you for the lecture. It was really interesting, and yeah, it was really interesting. Even if we had some issues, like even myself, you guys have witnessed that I'm having internet challenge here and there. So there are some questions that need to be answered about farmers that could not have access to internet and marry into the blockchain technology. And also, we also talk about making the blockchain technology to be accessible. That means it must have the local people's language to be fully utilized. Remember that a higher percentage of the farmers are in the rural area, and many of them have not passed through formal or formal education before. So we have to tackle that one. So this is a task for the COVID-19 Challenge 7. Now, the first thing is that we have to develop a concept for all the stakeholders in the agricultural and food system ecosystem in Africa. That means we have to have a concept where we can say these are the major stakeholders in agriculture in Africa, because all of them have to be aware of the blockchain. All of them have to be able to use the blockchain. All of them have to be able to communicate to each other or with each other using the blockchain technology. And the other aspect that we have a task at hand is to identify the challenges facing the farmers in Africa with the use of technology. I've highlighted some things, but I know that there are many aspects of it. That means we really have to get down to ask the farmers in the rural community what is their challenge, or what challenge they face using technology. Blockchain is not the first technology that has been introduced to farmers before, mostly in Africa, but many at times from research we know that the use of technology is proving difficult for them. So we have to go down and ask them. That is a real life situation situation. And we also have to, I've talked about this one, we have to make blockchain technology to be easy, accessible, and affordable to all actors in the ecosystem. And they are able to utilize it to better agricultural production and give Africa the food security in the 19th era. I think that's the task that we have in for challenge 7, and we've been able to develop different digital platform for challenge 7, and so all our writers will be there. What we are going to present on the final day, that this is what challenge 7 have come up with. We also have a link to our Skype where we can be having meetings outside this one, outside the webinar meeting. We can be having every challenge 7 participants meeting via the Skype, and we also have a WhatsApp link where we can be sharing information also. So please register yourself and join us. Let's see how we can drive this. Is there any innovation or is there and how what we can get out of this for food security in Africa? Thank you. Bente.
Thank you very much.
Hello, Bente.
Yes, hello.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, I'm done.
Yes, can you please share the links in the chat box so that people can get it easily accessible? Because some of these links are long as a bad year, as we say in Norway. So it's easier for people to get access to these links in the chat box. While you were speaking, introducing the challenge, it was breaking up a little bit, but I hope that people were able to read the text because you described the challenge of the hackathon there as well. While you were doing that, Akan, I invited Jiri as we agreed. He sends me a message now that he doesn't have anything, but he did get a link from me right now, so maybe he will be able to join us eventually. Now, look, if there are anyone in the audience that wants to speak, and you do have a Chrome browser, a good internet connection, web camera, and a headset, I will be able to invite you into the room so that you can perhaps ask a little bit longer questions and have an exchange back and forth a little bit with Raj and Akan. I think, here comes Jiri. Yes.
Hello, good morning.
Hi Jiri, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Sorry for technical troubles. I know it was somehow jammed, but Bente, after you sent me the link, I finally managed to connect.
Perfect.
So it's a perfect name, Webinar Jammed.
Yes. Okay. So Akan told me that you had some information that might be useful for the attendees and the hackathon team here.
Well, again, guys, I've been telling you I can tell something interesting once I know what you need. So you need to define requirements, and I can prepare the infrastructure. You know, I have no experience with blockchain so far, but I'm here to learn as well. If you tell me what I should prepare, I will prepare server, infrastructure, and so on. But I'm unable to do something on my own.
So what type of infrastructure are you talking about?
Well, server, and then any blockchain technology by our selection. So we need to decide what we want to do if we ever come to this technical implementation, because as I understood so far, we are on a high conceptual level that we are hardly getting to technical solution or something practical. So I'm here for the practical side, but I don't think there's now room for my speech, because I have not much to say because I don't know the requirements.
So you have a server. Is this something that you have developed earlier in another hackathon? Is that, can you remember the name?
You know, we have the server infrastructure. I can reuse what we already have, but it's not based on blockchain technology. But I am free to install anything new, but I need to get requirements because I have no experience with this technology. And if someone tells me, okay, we need to install this and that, I will prepare it, but I cannot do it on my own because I really don't know what is required by the users. It needs to be defined by the users.
Yes. So maybe we can ask Raj if you have some experience on this.
Yeah, I'll give him some basic. Yeah, I give him some basic inputs. As far as programming languages are concerned, it's good to know quite a few of them. But basically, if you're going to learn blockchain, it's good to have some working knowledge of Python, Java, JavaScript, PowerShell, C++, PHP, Go. Plenty of these there are, but Python being the core as far as we're concerned, Python should be one. As far as storage is concerned, Amazon AWS works very well, IBM works very well. Their storage and cloud servers work exceptionally well. And
we lost you, Raj. Raj, you disappeared for us. Jiri, do you hear him?
No, he disappeared.
Yeah. So there's something with the internet in India as well today. While we are waiting for him, was that, well, the piece of information you got from Raj right now, would that be is that useful information for you, Jiri, or do you have more specific requirements that you would be asking for?
Well, I have been looking at blockchain technology as is application in many sectors. For example, in food chain, security, and so on and so on. But there are many frameworks which can be used, many open source frameworks and so on. So I'm really interested in the very technical implementation. You know, then we say, okay, we just choose technology this and that, and we do something on top of it. But we need to. I was hoping that we will select some of the technology because there are many frameworks built on blockchain technology, and we would need to select one or one stuff was okay for the beginning, and then to try to build something on top of it. You cannot start from scratch, from programming and from scratch. You need to use something you can build on top of it. So I was hoping to get this very basic information. For example, we are building our hubs on Liferay, so we need to build our blockchain solution on something already prepared and just use it as a background because it's impossible to program it from scratch from the very beginning. So we need to use some framework which is already blockchain enabled.
Yeah, so what did you use, you say? What was the name? It was a little bit blurry when you said it.
Well, I was saying it just an example. For our hubs, for our digital hubs, we are using Liferay as the web portal because you don't want to program all this user registration, all these blocks on your own. So you just use something which is there and you just extend it and improve it. And so we need something similar for a blockchain. We need to select some already existing blockchain framework and try to build something on top of it because it is how it works today. No one starts anything building from scratch. You just put existing pieces together and use it as a cornerstones, and you build your house on top of it.
Yeah, and knowing this community, we would really prefer to have something open source, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, and it's a pity that Raj had some troubles. Now he's entering the room again, so we can ask Raj.
Sorry.
Welcome back, Raj. So, Raj, while you were away, can you hear us?
Yes.
Yes, Raj. While
yes, I can. I can hear you.
Yes. So while you were away, we were having a more specific request from Jiri here, because he's looking for something, some building blocks that's already there, and more specifically, since this is an open source, open data community, could you recommend or mention a few possibilities for this team that is, open source? Do you know of any of these?
Well, open source is great, yes, but to have a very right now, being blockchain being a relatively new, should I say, a new technology, open source is not completely tested for creating platforms and products. Therefore, I recommend using Java as a base, and then we can work with the with that to start off with. If I also have to say anything in blockchain, as I said again, it's just a 10-year-old technology. It's lots to remain. Let's put it this way, lots to be tested. There is another, people can start working on another platform called Cardona, C-A-R-D-O-N-A, Cardona. That would be great as open source, and I think people can experiment on that. It's gaining popularity. It has not become as popular as, say, a Hyperledger or Ethereum, which are the two more popular ones, or Solidity, Ripple. But it's getting there. It started now. I think what we could do, they could just explore Cardona, C-A-R-D-O-N-A, and that would be a useful tool to start off. It's a good starting point, and you can take it from there. Otherwise, as I said, still yet to be tested, but giving very robust results. The results have been very positive. In the meantime, we always have the good old Java and the Pythons to work on. So yeah, that's my answer to you vis-a-vis the technology and the open sources. Cardona, I would say, try and study a little bit, because Cardona and even Ethereum also has a lot of open-ended programs, etc. You can try Ethereum. You got to know a little bit of programming though in that. Cardona is relatively simpler.
So Jiri, does this ring a bell for you? Have you heard about these tools? Jiri, you are muted.
Yes, it's the problem of this web browser-based telcos that I click somewhere else and then I hardly find the correct tab to return to the telco. So yeah, there are many these blockchain frameworks. So now I'm just looking at the one Cardano, which Raj is mentioning.
Yeah,
so it looks like it's also as an open source version, but it doesn't matter because we cannot start from scratch. We just need to use some framework and just start building some on top of it. So if we use Cardano, then no problem. So this is what I wanted to know, so I can start to prepare, install it somewhere on a server. If it's okay, I see. I will check it later. And we can start to build something on top of it.
Okay.
So thank you.
Excellent. So I think what you're saying, Raj, that there's a great potential then for this open community in Africa. Solving problems, in concrete problems, as you said. You highlighted that it should be very concrete, the concrete use of blockchain. And even if, not even, because it's new, it's a nice opportunity for a young technology nation or continent as Africa to.
We have Icon, who could be one of the spearheading a complete transformation in a country like Africa, not just Nigeria and Africa overall. And the key to everything of whatever we say and do today is not the solutions today, but it's training. We need to have trained people who will take this further. We need to have a pool of resources which can then train down the line. That's the key. And of course, the open source comes in later on, because you will never understand the open source if you're not clear on the concepts. So conceptual training on blockchain is essential. And I've always stressed, you would take it block by block, literally block by block. The first block is always training.
Yeah, and this is coming back to you, Akan. You told me when we were preparing for this webinar that the farmers in rural Africa have limited access to technology, internet connection, etc. And another feature about this target audience, in this case, to help the farmers in Africa, is that many of these farmers are women. So that's another dimension that we need to add to this. And women farmers in Africa and the super hot new technology blockchain. It seems to be a big gap there. And Akan, do you have any ideas on how to address to start the transfer of, well, the communication line first, I think?
Okay, I basically, that's why we have the Challenge 7 platform, that people from different continents are going to give their own input, and we discuss how to get down to people mostly in the rural community. Like Raj said, we have to have people we have to train ourselves first, test run the blockchain, a pilot first, and have a success story. Once you have a success story with the pilot, we can now take it down to the farmers that can accept it. Once there's a result, there's always a possibility that they're going to accept the innovation, because this is an innovation that's going to help them big time. And even government in Africa want to see the result first. So the result aspect of it, but once we have a pilot and we have a result, it will now be easy to penetrate the rural communities. And remember, once we have the result, we'll now start to see how to engage the government, particularly people at the Ministry of Agri, the tertiary institution. From there, we're going to have a robust team that can penetrate the local communities and
Okay, so what you're saying, because here in Europe at least, we are more and more talking about co-design. So include the users and the technical experts from the very beginning, even developing the concept. Have you been thinking about this? Because now you said, as far as I understood you, it's like you make the thing and then you penetrate with the market or to the users, serve it to the users. Now, we have learned in Europe, at least, that it's a better strategy for making it used to actually involve the user from the very beginning. Is there any way this could be implemented? Have you any thoughts on that? Well, he disappeared. So.
I'll help you answer that, I guess. You're absolutely right, bang on, when you say you need to have an inclusive strategy rather than it's got to be a pull strategy, not a push strategy. You've got to have these people working very closely, and that's exactly. And I also liked your question when you said that one of the challenges is a lot of women farmers, and how do you bridge that gap? I'll just share my thoughts on that, because we did exactly in one of the states in our country. Well, they may not have too many women farmers, but they have a lot of farmers who do not have any idea about what technology is. They don't know what a smartphone is. They have no idea about that. But everybody does have a mobile phone. We have the button analog phone that everybody got. So with blockchain, we created a system in which you can use as long as you know how to send an. Yeah. So if you can send an SMS, you're good. That much technology, everybody can be taught. How to make a call, how to just send an SMS and get information. That much technology, we all are exposed to today. Therefore, when we talk about, it's not just only blockchain. Blockchain works with these technologies to make things happen. The idea of the blockchain is to reach the lowest common denominator. That is the person who has no idea what the hell we are talking about in blockchain. He doesn't care what blockchain is. He cares if his crops can be protected, if he's paid well, if he's going to survive till the next year, if he's going to take care of his loans or subsidies. He doesn't care for blockchain. He doesn't care for anything else. But we as enablers should be doing that. And our job is to get them inside right from there, let them buy in right from the beginning. Then you embrace technology willingly. You don't embrace technology later. You got to date with them first, then you get married. It's not that you get married and say, well, but that's the present game. You just tell them. You get to know only when you work with them. They will in fact point out so many challenges which may have eluded us. That's when we did this project, it took us 1 year complete to just scope the problems and find the right solutions which will actually address their problems. We don't tell them this is the problem and you got to solve it. This is how it's solved. No, they tell us what the problems are. They tell me, don't get me with your blockchain and IoT and drones. I don't care a damn for them. I care I got to put food on the table for my kids day after day. Is it possible? Are these money lenders going to take away everything from me? Is my farm subsidy going to come? Is the state going to fix prices? Do I know when the next storm is going to come? Can you address those problems? So when we don't just talk about technology, we take the human aspect and then merge technology with that. That's a solution that works. One of the things, that's why blockchain is called a frontier technology, not an emerging technology. It creates that little inflection point where solutions and technologies meet and create actual workable solutions. Many technologies do address that, yes. This actually creates and takes it to the next level. And that's why I think we're talking on blockchain today.
Yes. So Akan, I think that you have a good opportunity with your knowledge about the local farmers in Africa, and I would chip in here and suggest that we follow the experience from Raj when you are addressing the challenge 7 here, introducing blockchain to help solve food security issues in Africa. So let me see, I have some comments here. Samuel is saying, I am following Akan is spot on. The African agricultural landscape is highly fragmented. We need a model that is cascadable across the continent. So that's another issue that you need.
That's what blockchain does. It spreads it right across. It creates everybody together. If you saw my video, we have connected farmers from across the world. If you saw one of the slides there, it connects everybody. That's why, because agriculture is ad hoc, it's fragmented. It's not like an organized sector like manufacturing or the retail sector or the supply chain sector. It's very fragmented. Not only is the farmers fragmented, even the entire supply chain is fragmented. Blockchain, it brings it all on one platform. That's why the convergence of technologies on a blockchain works very well. And that's why one of the biggest adapters of blockchain has been the agri sector.
Okay, yeah, it has a great potential for sure, and it's interesting to address this in this hackathon, particularly under the COVID-19. Remember, this is the COVID-19 hackathon.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Felix, current pilot in Africa of the blockchain technology where the farmers are using WhatsApp to input data. Okay, so there are some communities then that knows what a smartphone is and are able to use that as well. But what I thought it was interesting what you said, that like the basic, old-fashioned, old-style phone with SMS can actually also be used. And then the next step, of course, and there's a large part of the communities that have a smartphone also now, even though not so much of the other technology is available. Samuel is asking, which platforms can be used in training our youth farmers who have some basic training in IT? Yeah, so that's the next level then. So from smartphone to then actually also have access to computer, some basic computer material, I guess. Okay, Raj, you added a link.
Yes, I can help share with Akan. We can create a platform of especially e-learning and live online classes where we can interact and work. I will be speaking. I've just sent you a link. I think everybody should read that link, whoever's in Africa. In the meantime, I will share the link with, I'll share the concept and the programs with Akan, especially the basics. So we start with the ABCs and we build the blocks, one block at a time.
Okay. I see that we have gone far beyond the 45 minutes I thought was going to be the extreme.
Sorry for that.
It's my fault. My fault. I'm very happy that you are all here and that the speakers are still here, and we have played a little peekaboo with Akan, and luckily been able to listen to him every now and then. Thank you so much, Raj, for your very inspiring and informative presentation and contributions in the discussion. Thank you, Akan, for this clear presentation of a very important challenge in Africa. And I can only wish you good luck with the hackathon, and I hope that you get more people involved in solving this particular challenge. And with that, I bid you goodbye and have a very nice day until the next time.
To you too. Thank you for organizing such a wonderful program. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye, everyone. Bye. Yeah, bye.